Okay, this is Crazy John Carrots. I'm here with Julie Scoggins and Sid Davis, and I think they were talking about something they wanted to talk about. But they're the comedians we had tonight here at the Doc Holidays in New Cumberland, and the headliner and the feature. And what can you guys tell us about your comedy career? When did you get started, and where are you both from?
Go ahead.
Julie started so many years earlier than I did, but it was...
I find that hard to believe since she's only 22, right?
That's right,
She's
thank you.
only 22.
I was a fetus when I started in comedy.
We both started late, and she
A
was
size 3 shoe.
she was a mentor to me. And what do you point that camera down?
Her shoes, yeah, she said a size 3 shoe. Wanted to show them that.
Oh, that's
You know what they say about big feet? No, never mind. I don't think that works on women.
that isn't true.
But come on, Sid, what were you saying here? We're going to keep talking if you don't.
We started late in life. I was she was like in her
Early 20s.
late 30s or whatever. I was almost 50 when I started comedy. I started on a dare by my wife, and one of the teachers of the comedy class was Julie Scoggins, and she happened to like me amongst all the other comics.
He had potential.
And
He still has.
Is this a point where Memories starts playing in the background, the song
No.
Memories?
we went through the MC phase and all that, and the guest set phase, and just the mentoring is so important with the stage time. And she was headlining, and she would help me tweak my bit to where I was a good MC. And the best advice she ever gave me was, if you want to move up to be a feature, you have to be the best MC. And that's what I worked on. I was the best.
And he was good too, and he still is when he's called on now to do that.
The best MC in Charlotte, North Carolina.
Yeah.
Then you move up, and then I learned from that, you never stop MCing. If you know how to work a crowd and get them warmed up, you can take a crowd that's cold and work them from any angle.
Hey, people host the Emmys, you know, that's what comics do. You think that's a bad gig?
That's true.
They're an MC? You have to learn how to do
So
that.
behind every good man, there's a good woman, and she's the woman that's behind you for comedy?
Well, his
Behind
wife
every
got
good
him to
man
do
is a
it.
good MC.
Or is that within every good man is an MC? I don't know.
Yeah, well, we all start out that way.
So what can you tell us about your start, Julie?
I just didn't want to have to get a real job.
Well, you had some real jobs before. You told me about that.
You can't live off of it at first. It's a hobby.
It's an expensive hobby.
It's like being a starving artist, you know. But now, you know, it's like being a professional tourist. You just travel around, meet cool people, do cool things.
And then you meet people like me, but that's beside the point.
You are.
So what can you tell me about your comedy? What kind of comedy do both of you do?
I do. Well, I guess it's observational. Both of us, pretty much, and it's very conversational. Mine, especially, is like we're just talking in the living room, and I'm just telling you what I find ironic about everyday things.
She's has gone on, and I watched how she talks to me, and how on stage she's a voice, and it speaks of who she is and from her soul, and she embellishes a couple things, and it's funny.
When?
But I learned from that. I watched that, and one night I went up and I had these glasses on, and it was in LA. It was just all these spots you do, and this guy said, "You're Jack Benny on crack." And
I could see that.
yeah, and so many people with these high energy comics, like energy, and then one person, Cowboy Bill Martin, said, "Slow down. You speak to the audience. You're Jack Benny on crack." He's the one that keyed that term.
I've met him.
And when
Good comic too.
good
advice.
comic. Oh, he's so funny. And he was the only person that said, "Slow down, wait for the pause," and that's what makes Jack Benny brilliant. You wait for that tension in the audience.
Yeah.
I love it. That's what I do.
It's good to really polished good comics to learn to not be afraid of silence.
Yeah.
Some guys get so anxious that they just can't let there be.
I've seen that. You're right. I've seen the kind of
Dead air.
people that I've seen the comics too that wait for the deadness, and they know to say certain things and to push certain things, and they
Right.
know it's going to make the crowd do certain
They know
things.
to manipulate the silence too. Even though it's quiet, they are totally in charge of when it ceases to be quiet.
For years, I
It's a
couldn't do
talent.
it. I couldn't do it. I had to get on to the next
It
thing.
makes you anxious.
And I saw a comedy special on HBO about Jack Benny, about he would stop, pause, and the more he waited, the more they laughed because of the tension he created. And the tension in the audience is what it's all about. They want to laugh, and you have to give them that moment. But it's timing. It takes years. In my
You have
case,
to release it.
Oh, yeah. And it's,
Punchline releases it. You create it with your setup and your situation, and then the punchline lets it like
and
that.
that tension, that moment is all in your
Yep.
style, all in your past, all in your moment. And a comic like Julie will work and knows when that line comes in and when it'll get the laugh. And me, I have to learn it, know it. It takes years.
He knows it though now.
She's got it. She's got it. I just love it.
You got it from her.
No.
Hopefully you got medicine for it. No, I'm
She, people can help you with that, but you have to know it within yourself.
And timing is not taught.
It's your own pace. It's your own style. I watch her. I laugh my ass off. I know her show like the back of my hand. Some of those things incorporate into my style. Some of the other comics incorporate into my style. It's your own stuff. You learn it as you go.
It's funny you said that. I've heard more people saying that lately, that you can't really teach people comedy. Either they you can help them with it, but either they have it or they kind of don't.
A lot of people are good writers, but they're not as good at performers.
Right.
And a lot
Like
of
singers
people
are like that
really
too,
great
though.
performers, and they don't. Yeah, exactly. A lot of singers the same way.
I always just like to use Chris Christopherson like that.
Yeah.
He's a great writer, but sometimes you listen to him sing and it's like, ooh.
Larry David's a perfect example. He would hang out in the clubs in New York. The comics that would kill, you know, your Jerry Seinfelds, and you go down the list, just love Larry David. Larry David would go up on stage and just die. He didn't have the timing on stage.
But he could write good stuff that they could use.
They loved him when he did the Seinfeld show, and then when he got into an element when he was comfortable with, like Curb Your Enthusiasm. Look at him now. And in Seinfeld, he wanted to be George. That was his character.
Mm-hmm.
But NBC said no. They said no to Larry David being a character. Can you imagine Seinfeld with Larry David being George?
Probably would have been
He's
better.
every bit as neurotic.
Yeah, it's the
You
same.
know?
It's the character. They just
I was
didn't trust
never
him.
big on Seinfeld, but some people are. Just the fact that he does a lot of, Seinfeld does a lot of everyday humor, and to me, I live every day, so some of that wasn't as funny as it could have been.
Depends on if what he's
Yeah.
talking about speaks to you or not. If
Right.
If it's your situation.
Although some of it did, but some of it was just like, I just lived that. I don't really, yeah, you know, sometimes it's funny and sometimes it isn't, you know.
But that was an example of a comic that
Right, I'm
had
sorry.
nailed it, and a network didn't trust him and put somebody else in his place.
Well, it happens.
Yeah.
They don't always know as much as they think they do.
Yeah, and he made zillions of dollars. Now he has his own show on HBO. And look at it.
But I tell you what, you told us a little bit about yourselves. If you wanted people to get out there and find out more about you, what is your web presence? MySpace, Facebook, your own websites? What do you have out there?
I have juliescoggins.com, JuliesCoggins.com, and myspace.com/JulieScoggins. If you just Google me,
You'll find you.
be gentle. Yeah, I'll be like the first couple of pages. There's all sorts of stuff out there now, video and stuff. You can check it out. We're here, well, at the Comedy Zone this week in Harrisburg. So.
And you, Sid?
MrSidDavis.com. Look it up. That's got all the stuff on it.
And now if you go to your sites, you're going to have your schedule, so if people want to come out and see you, they can actually go out and find your schedule and get out there and see you. And email you.
And I have a mailing list if you want to sign up by city. You just put in your email address and then select which cities you'd like to know about, and then you'll get an email the week before.
Well, that's great. Hopefully people have heard some things about you that would interest them, and they'd get out to your site and catch a show. Thanks for letting me interview you guys.
Funny.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Very much.